A dog show, and that's what a lot of people don't think about. They think, oh, dog shows, that's nothing. Look, your dog, every time it walks in a ring, has a complete stranger that's going to walk up and touch it, and it has to stand there perfectly still for it. So
yeah.
there's not a...
They got to be real social
That's a
for
lot
that.
of training for that. Well, they have to be social, antisocial at the same time because they can't say hi to the judge. You know, they have to stand there with
Like
their paws
neutral.
in them. Yeah. It has to be like neutral. Dog shows are a lot of training, and with poodles, it's a lot of work. This is not show code here. When you're getting a show dog ready, it's 2 days, and it's 4 to 5 hours every time you work on them.
Sheesh.
And that's what you're going to do every 2 weeks, 4 to 5 hours.
I ain't never really thought about that.
Oh, it's brutal.
You get a poodle and you want to breed and you really want to take it serious,
If
you
want to
better
go
be
do
ready.
show confirmation and that kind of stuff, that's the reason why most people send them to handlers, but I'm an amateur owner handler. I do all my own training and everything for everything. In the hunting world, I'm considered a professional because I've taken money to train hunting dogs. But in the confirmation, I'm considered an amateur because I've never taken money. So let's talk about confirmation a little bit on the dog. All right, this is the prosternum. See how this kind of pokes out? You need to have a good prosternum. That tells you that there's a good angle to the ulna bone. That's this bone that goes back to the elbow, which you need to have that to have good balance. You want this bone and her shoulder blade to be in the same spot, which she is. Now, they talk about a 45-degree angle on a shoulder, and there's really 45-degree, they say is really kind of impossible. But this is her angle right here. That's where her shoulder is, right here. You want him to have a nice long neck, not too long though, but you want it to have enough length on it that she has the appearance of elegance, okay? Then to have good rib spring. So you want that rounded feel in the rib when you come around on the rib. When you come back on the top line, you want a good flat top line up to her neck. Stand. You want a good flat top line. Now, each breeder has what they breed for particularly. I don't breed for a super high tail set. Lots of times breeders' tail sets will be right up here. I kind of have a working dog, so that tail set's not as important to me as the front end and the rib spring and the stifle. This is the stifle. Stifle needs to be nice and thick because that's what controls the hind end from wobbling. Stand. You also want it to come back and have a nice curve to it. You want this from the hock to the floor to be straight. You don't want it to be set like that. See how you set with that angle like that? You don't want it to be that way. You want it to be, that's called cow hock or sickle hocked. So you want that nice curve straight down. And you want it to be, her toe shouldn't be too, this is called the shelf. Her toe should be right at the shelf when you run your hand, she doesn't know what that is. When you run your hand down her leg like that, you want it to go right down to the toe. It can be a little bit farther back, that's okay. About an inch is okay too. But you don't want it to be way back here. Because when a dog's stacked with it way back there, that means that it's probably sickle hocked. And if they stacked it correctly, it would be stacked, you know, the hock would be incorrect. So you want it to be like that. I'm going to do a stack, and this is for a poodle. Not all breeds stack like poodles. So I'm going to do a stack for a poodle. And when I stack my dogs, the first thing I do is I do the front. I set this leg front because that's the judge. You're the judge. So I set that foot, and lots of times this foot's already set. I usually run my hand down my dog's back, and then I run it down its leg like this, and I slide that back. I don't pick it up. And then I come over to this side, and I slide and back it up. And then I come up and I bring her tail up, and I straighten her up, and that's how I usually stack them. If you want to practice stacking your dog, the reason why I do that is she knows that the front feet are going to be first. I do the same thing every time. So when we get in the ring, when I start doing that, she knows exactly what's coming next. So it's stack this one, make sure that one's correct, run your hand down, slide this one back. You slide it. This is the judge's side. You always stack it first. And then you come over, rotate your hand, then take them right here is where you get them, right there at the bend of the knee, and you stack that back, and then I run my whole hand up her, and then so she's a little crooked with her head. So now I'm going to have to straighten her out, and I push her over just a little bit. And there you go. So you just want to make sure that the hock, that you stack it here, stack it, get them even. You want to step back and look at your dog and make sure everything's even, that she hasn't changed any of her footage. She's leaning just a little bit forward, so I'm going to push her forward like that, see? Push her just a little bit forward, and that's how your dog's stacked.